I was going to ask you guys this question, right? Maybe not the Brooklyn now. Would you say you would rather have your kids grow up in the Brooklyn we grew up in or what they're going through now? I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just so dramatically different.
The Brooklyn that we grew up in?
Because I know right? It was bad and it was dangerous.
It got better.
But we had such a good community. Kids were together. Kids played together. They weren't distracted. This guy was doing groceries for my mom at 8 years old. Like full blown out groceries. Like get the chicken, get the celery, get the lettuce, get the onions, get the milk, and then come home.
That was the culture, yeah.
That was the culture.
That was norm.
Hi, baby, hop in the Lamborghini. I'm Mindy, on me only, I'm Mindy. Hi, baby, hop in the Lamborghini. Left for a minute, I did not sweat it. Look at that cash I spent it. There it goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a special episode, and it's kind of getting me a little bit emotional, and you'll see why. So today, usually I interview entrepreneurs, NBA players, actors, guys from TV shows, but I don't think I talk about my story as much. So I decided to travel across the country, from Florida to California, to see one of my best friends with my other best friends flew in with me. I said, you know what, why not interview my boys who I grew up with, get into my origin story. And so we're here today on another episode of Stroke of Success with your boy, KB. Introduction will be done. Omar Khan, welcome. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me, KB. Very honored to be on your podcast here.
Thank you, man. Ramir Janjua.
Mr. Khurram Bukhari.
We go back, guys. This friendship here, I thought to say it's 40 years, but these guys just told me before rolling that it's
35.
35.
So we're 40 right now,
technically
right?
39. I just turned 39, okay. So...
Well, it depends. We're all at different ages, right? So I'm the youngest, obviously. You guys know. No, I'm joking. Guys, let's get it. So I know this was last minute. Like I said, I decided, I'm like, you know, why not? Like, rent a studio. By the way, this is an amazing studio here in San Francisco. No, Tracy. So I'll give these guys a plug. If you're in the town, call them. They're amazing. With that being said, I just decided, man, let's just do it, man. Like, I think our story is interesting, and I think a lot of people get a good value out of it. So let's just start. Where you from?
Yeah, so Omar Khan here. I'm sure a lot of the people that might be watching this podcast probably already knows me because I am one of Khurram Bukhari's closest friend from childhood. Like we were mentioning, it's been, I think, over 35 years of friendship. So I know pretty much all the details of his life.
That's scary. That's very scary.
And we'll probably be sharing some things. Maybe some things we shouldn't be sharing, I
Maybe
guess.
not.
Everything's shareable. Everything's shareable.
Everything's shareable?
Yes, some of us are married. Some of us remain married. So, awesome.
So I have a kind of interesting relationship with Khurram because my brother was close with these guys, and so I was never included at the early stages, but I knew a lot about what was going on, so it was kind of interesting. But, born and raised in Brooklyn, mom was Filipino, dad was Pakistani. And me and KB actually reconnected when I moved down to Miami. Went through, like, this whole thing in life, wanted to start over. I was like, why not Miami? Khurram's there, he took care of me, showed me the ropes, and that's actually where we got reconnected, and that was about 7 years ago. Right. And then me and him got really close there. And actually, I was there when his whole stroke happened, and that whole thing actually brought us even closer. And then our whole little group kind of reconnected after Omar being in. We like all went to opposite sides of the country, right? Like even my boys, my boys in Oakland. Yeah. I went to Miami. Our other boys in New Jersey. So we went as far as we could. I guess we hated each other at the end of the day. I don't know, and that's kind of like how we are now. I mean, me and KB are pretty close though still.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So like I was telling you guys yesterday, there was a part of my life in 2016-17, I was in South Florida, and very social, very part of the community, but I was very lonely, and I told my wife the story much later. I was like, I just prayed to God, like, listen, I wish one of my friends from Brooklyn would come. It's Omar or Rehan, one of them.
And they got me.
So and God had God's plan sent Ramir, but it's been a journey, guys.
Well, you got the best one, man.
Got the best one.
You didn't even know you got the best one.
And there's such a stroke story. Like my wife called him, Ramir, the morning of the stroke, Christmas morning, 2017. Hey, he's not talking to me, and he's like,
Oh yeah, that like so I get out of work. I used to work midnights, right? So I'm home 7:30, ready to knock out, and she's like, "Hey, KB's not talking to me," and I'm like, "Listen, we'll figure it out." I thought they were in a fight. I hang up the phone on her. She calls back right away. She's like, "You don't understand." Yeah, right. So I thought you guys were fighting. So I hang up the phone. She calls me right back, and then she started to tell me what was going on. So I rushed to the hospital where he was at. And I'm like, how am I going to find this guy, And then they had like a blue coat or red coat or something. And then I just see him walking in his gown, wide open, flashing the world. And I'm like, oh, never mind. That's him. So that's, yeah.
you were there, and then who'd you call?
And then, I called Omar. That was probably one of the longest days of my life,
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going to happen. There was so much going on. And like, I don't know if people experience when you lose somebody so close to you, and I say lose because at that moment when I seen him, he didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And that, like, I don't know how to explain that. And that's something like you guys probably hopefully never have to see. But he looked me dead in my eye, and I just had steak dinners with him the night before.
Yes.
And he went to a wedding the night
Yes.
before. And so we were together, and he looked me in my eye, and you could tell he didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And for me, that was...
And that's why it's more shocking, right?
I thought he was
you
gone.
had no
Like,
idea.
now he looks at me, and I'm like, oh, he knows
Yeah,
who I am.
yeah,
You look
yeah,
at me,
yeah.
you know who I am. And he looked at me, and he didn't know. And then it was a mess for another week of not knowing if he's going to come out of this. And then, they said, like, half of his body was paralyzed. And then me and his wife are just talking, and we're just like, yo, who's going to, like, wash his butt? And who's going to feed him? And who's going to take him out? And who's going to this? And who's going to that? And, it was...
And she's pregnant.
It was
Yeah,
tough,
pregnant.
man. It was tough. But, he bounced back, and now he's here and
That's
living the
right.
good life.
And we're
That's
doing
right.
this podcast for you guys.
How was that for you when you got the call, and what you think when you got there?
It was very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. I was in Boston
Yes.
with my
In-laws.
in-laws. I was visiting there.
Wife and kids, everyone.
Wife and kids were all there.
Vacation.
Totally caught me off guard.
Christmas time.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, like you were saying, he's the one that actually called me.
Right.
And he's like, man, KB just had a stroke. I'm like, what are you talking about, a stroke? Are you joking or something? Because we joke all the time, right? Like, but he's like, I'm serious. And he's like, hey, I think you should probably come now, because, we don't know what's going on. This is a really sensitive situation right now. And I'm like, I couldn't digest that. The thought of like you having a stroke and then the possibility of losing you, your best friend, your friend that you've grown up with all your life.
Right.
It hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Then obviously, next day I took that flight, come rushing in. This guy picked me up, saw you, but something in the back of my mind told me that, I'm not going to lose you.
Yeah, you told me that.
And that's the kind of assurance I try to give to Saima as well.
She told me that too.
And, I gave her a big hug,
She told me
gave her a
that.
kiss on the forehead.
Mm.
I was more scared for her too.
Of course.
She's pregnant.
Yeah. Anytime she goes.
You're looking at all the people that are there. You're looking at their faces. You see your in-laws, and I see Ramir. He's had his head down. Ramir's the type of guy. He doesn't get emotional.
No, he
that
doesn't.
much. Like a
Yeah,
big
it's
guy.
tough.
We had 230.
Yeah.
All muscle. This guy's.
I don't know about the muscle.
Ramir
Yeah.
has
A lot
his
of
head
muscle.
down. And I'm like, bro.
I was just tired, though. I was just
You're tired? Is that what it was? Too much fixing airplanes?
yeah, no. It is really emotional to like.
Just talking about it gets me tears in my
Yeah,
eyes. It is.
it's weird, like when you lose somebody, and we didn't even lose him yet,
Yeah.
but it's just like I moved down because he was there. He was my support,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now it's like, well, he's not gonna be around, or he's gonna be. Like, I don't know if it's even worse. Like, maybe it's even worse that you're around, but you're not functioning.
Yeah,
like,
that is
You know,
worse. I
like
do
me
know
and
that.
Simon had these conversations because we used to stay in his, room all night. And we're like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Who's going to watch the kids? What's the rotation going to be like? And I got pulled into this family. I was like,
Yeah.
I came to Miami to, like, have a good time, be on the water. And now I have to take care of a grown man.
Yeah.
But we were ready for that, and
Yeah.
it was it was just so much going on, a lot of emotions, like he said, his wife was like 8.5 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And that's how I met all his friends, surprisingly.
Yes. South Florida friends.
South Florida friends, like
Yeah.
they all came, but by the truckload they would come, and
Yeah.
trays of food would be like in
Sure.
there in the ICU, and you know what? For what it's worth, it was a good time. I know that sounds messed up.
I know what you mean though.
But for me, it was
I
a good
told.
time.
Yeah.
All his friends were there.
Yeah.
My brother came.
Yeah.
Omar was there, and we would just stay up talking about you. And we had this good. I think you weren't part of it,
I was part of it.
right?
And
And
so-
we just had this good time. We were talking about high school days
Yeah.
and the things you used to do and
stuff
we
I
used to
love to
run
talk
around.
about.
Yeah, the old stories of them chasing
Sure.
women.
That's
well,
kind of the sad thing,
girls.
though, right? Let me just stop you here. That usually when there's when we all kind of come together, it's usually at marriages or
Yes.
usually at funerals.
Yeah,
You're right.
of course.
And you kind of wish that there's times where we can all kind of get together aside from those type of events, but just.
But that's the thing, you should, right? Like, if anything that's worth value, whether it be business, if you're trying to grow a business, you got to put in time, right? You got to make an effort. You got to go out there. You got to get your leads. You got to do that, right? And people don't do that with their friendships anymore, right? It's like,
don't.
oh, I hit him up on IG.
I'm happy
I
you guys
DM'd
are here.
him.
You guys are
Yeah, like
visiting
we
me
had
here.
to fly. Like
Yeah.
you had to. He pulled his kids out of school,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to cancel work. All right, you
6-hour
have to
flight.
take a vacation.
You could have gone to Europe or
Yeah.
somewhere else, right? But you came to California. Appreciate that, KB.
Thank you, bro. Well, he came to my 40th last year, a year ago from now, and he did all the stuff. So it's vice versa. This friendship is unique. Talk to me about your parents, bro. Like, what was their household situation for you?
You want to go back in time, like in Brooklyn?
Let's touch on it.
Is that what you want to do?
We're from Brooklyn, right, guys?
We're from Brooklyn, man.
All right.
We're from
Brooklyn in the house, guys. Brooklyn, the best
born,
borough.
born and raised.
Born and raised
The best
in
borough,
Brooklyn,
for sure.
Right. Something that I always tell people when people ask me, right? How is it to be in Brooklyn? I'll say Brooklyn, and I've traveled a lot of places,
Yeah.
all across America,
Across the world.
and
Both of you have traveled
many
around the
different
world.
countries, across the world as well. I'll still say Brooklyn is the most culturally diverse place in the world, right? I mean, from Pakistani, if you see a Pakistani guy, now he might be either from Lahore, Islamabad, or Karachi, maybe in other states or whatnot, but in Brooklyn. Now, you don't know if, where in Punjab this guy's from. He might say Sialkot, he might say Gujranwala, he might say Chakwal, he might say, all these other towns that you probably never even heard of, right?
Sure.
You might see like a African-American guy. This guy could be Jamaican, Haitian. You might see an Asian
Then
guy.
he's not African American.
Not African-American? Oh.
Right.
It's very diverse, you're saying.
Very diverse,
Yeah, yeah.
very diverse. And it's great because you got all these different towns, right? If you want the Little Italy, you go to Little Italy.
Russia, bro.
You get
Indian,
your pizza.
Indian.
You go, hey Gino, what's
there's-
up, Gino? Hey, you want a pizza? Hey, what do you want? Omar, hey, what's up? You want a square? You want a Sicilian? What do you
Italian?
want?
I don't know. That was like Asian almost. No, but it's true. Like I think, and
They
it's
go
not
to-
only Brooklyn though. It's like New York, right? Because we didn't. I get it. We were born and raised in Brooklyn, but New York City, right? If you wanted to go get Greek food, you went to Astoria, right? You went to Queens. You got your Greek food, right? You wanted to smoke hookah, also in Queens, right?
Get a lot of hookah.
Right?
Story.
The best food of the world, like original good food, New York has all of it, right? I'm not saying you can't get Chinese food anywhere. And we have our own Chinese food, right? That's how
Yeah.
good we are. Like
Yeah.
New York Chinese food is
Different.
different. It's our
Yeah.
own thing. New York pizza.
Yeah, that oil. That
I mean,
grease.
he tried
By
to
the
take
way,
us to
San
New York
Francisco
pizza.
has some New York pizza,
San
guys.
Francisco has the Black Hawk has some New York
Black
pizza
Hawk,
apparently.
Check it out. I mean, it's good, by the way.
But you guys were making fun of me though.
No,
Yeah, of course
You guys
we
were
were
looking at
because
each other. You're like,
because
Omar,
it's-
this is not New York
well, that's the
pizza,
Did
thing.
you see that?
No, but
You saw that, right? Did
we
see
talk about
too?
that though,
Okay, it's not
right?
New York pizza, but it's the closest thing to
It
New
was.
York pizza.
It was. It
No,
was.
but like I talk about
give
that,
it
right?
props.
Is it
Thank you.
Is it that New York pizza really tastes good, or bacon, egg, and cheese? Right? Does that taste good, or was it an experience that also
We talked
heightened
about
that?
that.
Right?
We don't know that.
We don't know. Maybe
But
that
maybe
pizza
it-
would have been good enough
In New York City.
in New York City
The
if we were in
train,
junior high
you hear the
school and you
train
hear the
going.
train. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Right.
The honks. The
Right, and you buy your like high school girlfriend
Yeah.
your $1.25 slice of
Yeah.
pizza. Now that changes the whole thing, and you're
Sure,
walking home from school.
Sure.
Right? That changes the whole dynamic of what that slice is. Because that's for a slice, that's what it was for me. I get out of junior high school, and there was a girl you had a crush on, and you're like, I saved up that extra 125. I'm gonna get her a slice of pizza, and we're gonna walk home. We're not gonna get on the bus.
That's it.
We're gonna walk the 25 blocks,
Man, ladies, man.
and we're gonna eat this slice
That's
of pizza
funny.
together. And then at the end, you barely like touch their hand, and that was it. That was like your move, right?
Sure.
And that was make or break.
Yeah.
But that, if you think about it, that revolved around pizza.
Pizza.
So
Guys, we were born in the 80s, right? What'd your dad do?
So initially, my dad was a big lawyer in Pakistan,
Yeah.
right? Very big. He was actually one of the legal advisors of the Zardari family. Autumn Insurance, which was kind of like the AIG here. Did really well there, but when he came here, he had to do a lot of odd jobs. He was doing security at night. He was working like at Burger King as a manager, and that was very difficult. I think for him, he didn't really talk about it much. He was one of those Desi dads that kind of just really kept himself. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Eventually, down the line, he got into Homeland Security, which is also a little weird, right?
Right.
A Desi man being
Sure.
in Homeland Security. But he did right? You guys just make fun of that, right? That my
did.
dad would come in a uniform and stuff. He'd like, "Khoram, kya le? Kaise ho beta?"
Yeah. Let's get into it, man. Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think there was any more of
No, that was
the
it.
conversation.
That was it.
Because he was, on his schedule, right? Comes in 4:30, takes off his clothes, puts on his, pajamas or whatever.
Right.
Puts on some TV, has his meal, and then that's it. That's the
He
type
was
of
a
guy
very
was.
simple dude, though.
He was.
Yeah, very
He was a
simple,
simple
very
dude.
simple guy.
With that being hold that. So how about your father?
Accounting.
Yes.
I mean,
But what's his background?
so yeah, he's Punjabi. Born and raised in Pakistan, and then moved to England, then Canada, then the U.S.,
Right.
then back to Canada, and then back to the U.S. And he finally settled in New York. And then my mom.
He was also a traveler, by the way, right? I think he drove from Afghanistan to
No,
London.
he drove from London to Pakistan twice.
London to
twice,
Pakistan.
which is crazy to think of, because you can't really do that now.
No big deal.
I don't think you make it now. But then my mom was born and raised in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And then she left when she was quite young to the States. Then she lived with her sister in Italy for a couple of years. And I didn't know that she knew how to speak Italian. And then they met in New York. And then, I came a couple years later, and that was it. And I met these fools because our moms were very close friends. And then
Your family was.
Yeah.
And that was through him.
I mean, the crazy part is when before I was born, my brother and him were neighbors. They lived in the same building. The doors were literally next to each
almost
other.
across each other.
Yeah, next to each
1978,
other.
yeah.
Next to each other, right? And then we moved about like 10 blocks away
Yeah.
from each other,
Yeah.
right? And then we moved across the street from each other. And now we picked the opposite side of the country. So eventually we might meet in Texas. That's
There
all.
you go.
Like, I think Houston might be the common ground.
Uh-oh.
So, all right. So, your mom worked for a laboratory. Your mom worked for a
Nursing home.
Nursing home. Okay. Were we super rich guys? BMW standing outside.
No.
In the beginning, 2-bedroom apartment.
We were struggling.
2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah,
You
I had a
two-bedroom
two-bedroom.
Two-bedroom
I had a
apartment.
two-bedroom.
Right. I had a 1-bedroom apartment. I was the poorest out of all of them. He reminded me he had everything, but I was the poorest. It was interesting. I was the poorest rich kid, probably.
Yeah.
My mom had nothing, but she gave me everything.
Right.
And these
So you're
guys
richest
had,
kid.
Yeah, yes, richest poorest kid. 80s New York, iron for y'all. For me, it was very fear, a lot of fear. I had no father, right? So like I used to come home with my mom, drove down the streets, and like there would be gangsters all around, and they would come up to her and and scare her a little bit, and she's the immigrant, single Pakistani woman, divorced, right? Did you guys feel the same fear at the time? I'm starting with humor.
80s was bad, man. I mean, going to school, right? At that time, what were the Jan Sports that were in style?
That was late 90s, but before
Yeah,
that,
90s,
mountain
yeah.
bikes were
Okay,
there.
even before that, yeah. I mean, I think it was. I wouldn't say as bad growing up in the 80s, like in the mid 80s. I mean, I would still take my bike, go to his house and stuff.
Yeah, that was more than
Right.
80s, though.
It was late 80s.
It was lady. I was
Was
6,
it?
7 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
8 years
like,
old.
your
For
parties,
you, yeah, you were 8.
your
right?
parties would have gangsters come in the hallway and throw eggs. Like, I mean, that's like you didn't.
Late
For
80s,
the record,
late 80s, early 90s. I'd say.
Omar's memory is it's like Omar's memory.
was-
Some things are really
That was
there.
Dinkins, right? The mayor at that time.
Some
Yeah, it
things
was
come
Dinkins.
It
fast.
was Dinkins.
Some things come really fast, and some things don't. Dinkins was the mayor, and that's why it was
Yeah.
bad. And then Giuliani came.
Giuliani
Yeah,
cleaned it
he
up.
cleaned
Yeah.
up
It's not a
he
political
cleaned up
show,
New York
but
City a lot.
Giuliani, hate him or love him, he cleaned it up. I'll give you guys an example. His parents had a big anniversary party in Jackson Heights, Queens, Halloween night. One of our friends got egg in his face, Levent.
Yeah, 'cause you do that.
Shout out to Levent. Right in his face.
Wait, why do you call him the bad?
Okay, well,
Wait, that was really good shit.
Yes. And yeah, he came
We were friends that time.
he came crying up there. Bro, it was bad, dude.
No, aside from that, I mean, we would go to these parties, auntie parties, right? There would be birthday parties, and I remember they were like around like 30 gangsters
Yes, on the
sitting in front
Yes,
of the door.
It's not,
right?
it's not seen, right?
And we're going in with our mom.
Yes.
Chalo, Omar, chalo, andar chalo.
Yeah.
With their shawarma kameezes on and stuff. And I was like,
It's cold, right?
that's what I
Do you see this like DMX and his like whole party right in front
Funny
of you?
enough, don't you think that was our norm though?
That was a norm, yeah. it
Like
was a
now,
norm.
you're in Tracy, yeah.
Yeah.
If you see that, you'd be like, "Oh crap, this is this
Yeah.
is serious."
Yeah, you don't see that
But
here.
that was our norm. Like Avenue K was bad. These buildings were like they're drug lords
Bro,
living in these
I knew
buildings.
I had a feeling it was bad. I'm like, this is not normal. But I just come
No,
to Florida.
you knew it wasn't.
I come back.
That's why you
At
probably have
Florida,
more experience.
And I see summer, and I go back, and I'm like, whoa, I'm
Like
so
I remember
scared.
the first time I got robbed.
Yeah.
And that was the most scariest part.
What happened?
And it happened like a business deal. It was my birthday. I had $20, right?
Yeah.
It was me, him, and my brother.
Yeah.
And we went to the like little bodega on the corner, and we're
get-
walking home
With
cruising.
ice cream in our hands.
Ice
Yeah.
cream. I had a 6-foot thing of
You remember
bubble
this scene?
tape.
I remember.
Okay.
Everything, right? We had a bag of Doritos in it. Doritos were only a quarter back in the day. And I still probably had like probably $15 left, and we all had snacks. And this kid on a bike comes up to us,
What's
and I'm
up,
like,
yo?
"Oh, that's my brother's friend." He stopped. He said, "What's up?" Right? And I'm like, "This is my brother's friend. Omar might know him. Cool, whatever." I didn't know what was going on, and then I see him do something like that, and he pulled out a knife on these guys, and then I was like, "Oh crap!
Yeah.
I think we're getting robbed." And that's when it hit me, and I was like, "Crap! I'm getting robbed." And then it all happened. They got robbed because my brother was holding my money. They took our everything.
Yeah.
And then when the kid left, I had to ask them. I was like, "So like we don't have any more money?" Like, and that was it. That was the first time I got robbed.
Yeah.
And then it just hit me. And then it happens. It happens
Yeah.
more. It happens
Every
here.
more
It
is more.
happens there.
I was thinking of doing my
You know?
karate, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, I was with Karate Kid Part 1.
But that was the norm, is what I'm saying.
Yes. But it's still,
If you grew up in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Queens, like all my boys that grew up Brooklyn, Queens, they have the same story. Till they started doing it to other kids.
Sure.
You know, and it was just this rotation of how it worked. Like you just went to the next kid
Yeah.
and then you did it. When
Yeah.
you were in high school, you picked on the junior high school
Yeah,
kid.
well, we didn't.
We didn't rob.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't rob.
We're
But
pussies.
it's
How
just
about
how it
you?
worked.
Did you have a situation that you had a few that were fearful?
of getting
Fearful, like,
robbed?
you're like, what? Oh my god!
Oh,
like,
yeah. I mean, I used to play basketball.
Right.
Right? So I was the only Desi guy on
You were.
all my,
By the way,
all my
shout out
teammates
to my
were.
boy Omar Khan, one of the best JC basketball players. Used to be. Do
Oh,
you still
damn.
have it?
Used
Still,
to be?
do you still
Oh,
have
shit.
it?
Maybe he's good
man.
at Tracy. He's good at Tracy out here.
Oh, just Tracy?
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm asking.
So
Yeah, so it's pretty bad. I mean, playing basketball, I had a lot of African American people on my teams, pretty
say
much
black. You can
pretty
say
much in the whole
Yeah.
whole league. And there was one time we actually won a game, and there were actually these guys standing outside with guns, and I was like, "What's going on here?" And he was like, "Yo, y'all niggas think that you're gonna beat us?
yeah.
We see you outside."
Oh really? Like that?
It was like Karen, like,
Okay.
You don't remember when we went to Ditmas? And we were playing basketball at Ditmas, and somebody
Yeah.
pulled a gun out, and it cleared
remember
out
that,
everything.
yeah.
It cleared it. That was an exciting
Fast.
day. We were playing basketball, shooting around.
like a white man can't jump scene.
And yeah, and then I don't know what's happened in a different court. Somebody pulled out a gun, and like the gates were open, but people were still jumping over gates
Yeah.
just to clear it out. But that's what I'm saying. We came. That was our norm. If that happened today,
Yeah.
Yeah, our schools were not like 10 out of 10.
No,
or like,
no, no. Like your
no,
kids'
you know,
school here in
Hey,
in,
let's take you
Mountain
for
House.
some activities.
No.
We
So-
just
Roll
went
we
the
didn't. We
punches.
made our own activities.
we made our own
Yeah.
activities.
right. Going home was an activity.
But the overall in New York had a fear. I mean, that's this documentaries on it, Netflix, right? The
Girls
people-
getting pregnant, like coming
Yeah.
into class, 6th grade.
Yeah.
They're bringing their kids in the class.
Sure. So let's touch on that quickly. Like we lost a friend,
Yeah.
right? We lost a friend named Omar Suleiman. This guy was a top G. Like this guy was like he was a good-looking guy, and he got involved with the
Decepticons.
Yeah, Decept,
Yeah.
right? That's right. For those young millennials that probably making fun of this, there's a Transformers. That's a
That was it. Yeah.
yeah, and
That
that
was a
was
show.
and that but that Decepticons thing was from that show, and there was gangs of this. I mean, all around, and when they come walking, you cross the street. It was no joke. So our buddy was recruited in that, and then his parents sent him to Pakistan. Then he came back right back into it. Then he got into juvenile. For the record, the guy had a beautiful heart. Always respected our parents.
Yeah.
He never picked on his own.
Yeah.
He protected his own,
They
right?
protected us.
When he came back from juvenile, he was very good looking, very stock in the muscles.
Working out.
They had these jeans back in the day where you had graffiti on the side, and he had them. I was like, dude, I want to get those.
Damage.
Damage. No, not Damage. That was another.
That was a brand.
That was my brand.
Oh.
But and then one day, one sad morning, we find out he got shot
Yeah.
and he's dead. And I mean, that was like our Tupac time. It was just like the Biggie Smalls of our time. Like, streets were filled with Pakistani people, Puerto Rican. He was a big part of the Puerto Rican community, and everyone. And the cemetery. Like, you want to touch on that?
A lot of people. I mean, that was. I mean, it was also very early on, right? I mean,
Very
growing
early.
up, I think that was one of the first funerals that we actually attended.
We ever went to, and someone
Right.
of our age, almost.
Yeah,
He was our,
and it was
like,
really eye-opening. Like, man, this could happen to us.
he was like a year or
Right.
two older than you. I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah. You know what was interesting though? That he gave a lot of respect
I
to
know.
like the aunties and stuff,
He used
right?
to protect him.
Like I remember there was one time I was walking with my mom, and he was with his friends on the corner,
Yeah.
like smoking and,
Doing stuff.
yeah, probably doing things that he probably should not have
Sure.
been doing, especially at that time. I guess
Sure.
at that time kids should have been in school.
Sure.
But he sees me and my mom. All of a sudden, he takes his cigarette, whatever, and he just throws it on the side.
To
right?
respect.
Just out of respect,
Yeah.
right? And he says salam to my mom. And my mom, she was also a typical Pakistani
Yeah.
woman, like, "Tum smoking kar rahe the?" Omar?
What does that mean? Translate for my non.
Were you just
Yeah.
smoking?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm, Islam auntie, doing okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're embarrassed probably.
Yeah.
Did he help
So-
with the bags, grocery bags?
Yeah,
Like,
help with the
grab
grocery
it,
bags
yeah,
and stuff.
Walk
Yeah,
to the
just
house.
overall nice guy. But that was really eye-opening, right? I mean,
was.
his death, I mean, seeing someone so close in age, passing away. I mean, it's one of the first funerals I attended.
Me too. We were together, and it was sad. But yeah, that's Brooklyn for us. Like in South Florida, where my cousins were raised, they don't have a story like that, right? I think people here in Tracy and San Francisco didn't, I think, have a story like that. And that was Brooklyn, New York, right? Like for me, man, a single mom. I remember a lot of times we've come from Flatbush. I was like, what the hell, man? Like,
The Junction, yeah, that
Yeah,
was a scary
man.
place.
It was an interesting time. Let's just jump into. So we covered diversity. We covered Brooklyn 80s and 90s. I mean, fashion, Brooklyn fashion back then. Want to touch on that?
I mean, that was you guys. I was too young. Yeah, that was mostly you guys.
I mean, the Jordans, the Jays, right?
Jordans, yeah. I mean,
The
that
Jays
was
were all over the world, but the way they
We're
were
getting
in New
robbed for
York-
Jordans.
I didn't get robbed, but I almost did. People got robbed for the Jordans
all the time. Yeah,
Fours, the
that,
five,
that was
sixes.
when they would say, "Let me see the bottom of that
Yeah.
sneaker."
Yes. Let me see the bottom.
And they say that to you?
And there was the craziest thing, like it worked.
Yes.
You'd be like, "Oh, I got cool sneakers. You want to see the bottom?" And what we do is you would lift up your foot.
Yeah.
And then they would just knock you
Start-
over, take off the
Start
sneaker.
yanking the sneaker.
And it was just like, how did that work? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It's-
big
yeah.
thing. Jansports. I got robbed for my
Jansports.
Jansport. I got thrown on the floor. I remember.
Yeah.
A blade came out. I'm like the geek that I was, but surprisingly, I'm like, can I get my books back?
yeah, I said that same thing. I had a red
Still
one.
negotiating.
I had a
I'm
red one.
negotiating.
I wanted my trapper keeper. I was like, because I thought my mom was going to beat my ass. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't have my homework.
Yeah.
So, like, but that's what I'm saying. That was such a normal thing. It's like, damn, I'm getting robbed. I just have to accept it.
Sure.
And
Me
I'll
too.
go on with my day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bad day, but it's
Yeah.
my day.
Yeah.
You know?
When it happened to me, I went back to watching the karate movies, and John Claude Van Damme was
Jean-Claude Van
a
Damme.
big actor at the time. He was a big fan of his.
Big fan.
And then I went
Still
to
am.
karate school and I was preparing myself for the next time.
Oh, damn.
and
It didn't work. Did it work?
never
Didn't work? No?
It worked in my head. It didn't work outside there. We both joined a basketball league
We did. Yeah.
on East 5th Street,
That's
Ocean,
right.
right?
That's right.
For the record, guys, I was an amazing athlete my whole life. Like, amazing. You guys laughing.
No, it was entertaining. It was definitely
Wait, what?
entertaining. Yeah.
Definitely entertaining. yeah.
Okay.
Entertaining.
So
athlete. Yeah,
I had
for
no
sure.
rhythm. I was the worst athlete. But I was decent. I was decent in football. For my side, I
Yeah.
ran decent. I was
Maybe you're
okay.
just taller than us.
I think football. I was better in football than I was in basketball. I think.
You were.
You being nice about it.
Trying.
But and so we joined the league, and he used to mentor me a little bit. I remember, but that was interesting. It's a basement of this weird building on Saturday morning, and this we used to walk down, and we had T-shirts. Remember it?
It was in the school, PS217.
No,
Right?
East
Back-
6th Street, behind my building.
Oh, yeah, the basketball. Yeah.
yeah.
The
See,
basketball
his
league.
That was a church.
church. His memory.
Yeah.
See, now you remember the church. His memory because in
No,
and
they
out.
talk about football.
Basketball. Time.
No,
Okay,
but
basketball.
football was at the Annex.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was no,
217.
217 was my school. That was 88.
It's PS88.
Yes,
yeah.
bro. By the
Oh.
Chinese store.
Come on, man.
Oh,
Pay
yeah, you're
attention.
right. You're right.
We used to hop the
and-
fence to just play football.
Videorama, so they had they had these rental. I'm gonna jump on him on that.
Okay.
They had these rental stores for video, big commercial
It
businesses.
was before Blockbuster.
That was before
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster was there in Florida. So I,
Oh,
you
not
know
for
what
us,
you know what I
for us,
learned?
yeah.
I learned that big companies never came to big cities. Because the big
Right.
city had their own...
We had our own little
right?
thing. Yeah, we had
They
mom and
did
pop.
good in South Florida, San Francisco, Ohio, Daytona. So they never came. Like Fridays wasn't there. We didn't grow up Fridays. But I would come to Florida, the TGI Fridays all over. I used to come back to my, hey, did you go to Fridays? He goes, what's Fridays? He never knew about Fridays until it was the Times Square. Talking about the video store, like, remember there was the adult
You have a
section at the
pic-
back? And there were these Indian Bangladeshi men.
Yeah. What is going on here? What is this video?
And you see
what
us,
is
me and
about?
you, they get so embarrassed, right? Like, they're like,
Oh, man.
and they had the 10 movies, bro, one time. And they're walking out of them. And I go,
It's crazy though.
and I hit him like this, and he turns it around. And then he starts speaking in their language. What you saying?
What is this? What is our DVDs or coming
And
here?
one guy tripped. He was so embarrassed. He tripped.
I'm so sorry. I'm on lunch break right now, coding Java.
Oh man, yeah,
It was down back
it was
then.
different though. Cause think about it, if you wanted to watch something like that,
Porn.
you actually have to go out in public.
Yes.
Like, kids today don't know what that
No.
is.
Imagine
You have to
bringing.
go to public
imagine this
or
is-
the newsstand.
This is a movie.
You have to
guys,
go to
back
the
then,
newsstand.
Right? Yes, this is a movie. This is a cover of a very adult scene, right? And you have to bring it up, walk, you give it to the guy,
check it out.
and check it out.
Check it out.
And there's two Italian brothers. This video Rama and
Yeah.
Video Mania.
Mania, yeah.
Rama was
Mania.
by 18th Avenue.
Yeah.
And the two good-looking guys, remember the brothers?
Tom,
Yeah,
right?
Tom. And it was very routine for them. They look at it and okay.
They would smile too a little bit.
They would
A little
just smirk. We never rented these things. We never watched these things. But
Are
other
you
people.
back again, Rajiv? Rajiv is back
It
again.
was insane. Talk about the newsstands. Like they had
Yeah, the
everything.
newsstands. It was like that's what I'm saying. As a kid, I mean, they were covered, right? But you always seen the girl's head and maybe like the cleavage.
Yeah.
And it was just there.
Yeah.
I don't think does that exist
No,
anymore? I
dude.
don't think so, right?
Dude, like his son Sakriya would never have to deal with that. I mean, he used to go on his phone.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's what I was. I had a coworker, and he's like, "Man, I don't know, man. My bill is like, my internet on my phone is just. Here's the family plan.
Yeah.
It just got demolished one day.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, how old's your kid? His kid's like 15." I was like, "Oh, there you go."
There you go, buddy.
I was like-
There you go.
But it's like that's what I'm saying. Kids don't know what. It's a very different lifestyle now. Even growing up in Brooklyn now.
Yes. Talk about that.
If I was gonna ask you guys this
Yeah.
question, right? Maybe not the Brooklyn now, but would you say like because there's evils in this growing up in the burbs? Would you say you would rather have your kids grow up in the Brooklyn we grew up in, or what they're going through now?
That's a good,
you had a
that's
choice.
good question. I don't
I'm not
know.
saying one is better than the other. It's just so dramatically
the
different.
Brooklyn that we grew up in.
Because I know
Right.
it was bad and it was dangerous,
It got better.
but we had such a good community. Kids were together. Kids played together. They weren't distracted, right? How much? This guy was doing groceries for my mom
Yeah.
at 8 years old, like full blown out groceries. Like
8
get
years
the
old,
chicken,
guys.
get the
Me
celery,
too.
get the lettuce, get
Yeah, we
the
did that.
onions,
We
get
did
the
that.
milk, and then come home.
That was the culture, yeah.
That was the culture.
That was norm.
That's
What
normal.
8-year-old? At 15, I was flying across the country
By
to
the way,
meet
let's
with
put, it,
girls.
let's put it in perspective. 8 years old. How old is your son?
8.
You think you could send your son?
Can't even leave him. I can't even leave him at home
So,
alone.
shout out to Zacharias, Zacharias'
No.
son, beautiful kid. I mean, we love him to death.
Think about it.
But you know, he's a little soft, right? I mean, it's true.
No, but
right?
my mom used to leave him and my brother and me, and I'm 5 years younger, right? My brother's 4 years, right? So I was 4, a 4-year-old, and these guys would watch me the whole summer. If my mom would do that now, she'd be arrested.
Yes.
It's crazy. She'd be arrested for something like that. And
Was he really 8?
yeah, they're 4 years ahead of me.
But yeah, so,
He was 9.
so,
My brother
yeah.
was 8. I was 4.
My father walked out on us, me and my mom. I was 6, 7, 6, I think. So, and my grandmother moved in, and same thing. I had to go across the street from 18th Avenue in that Chinese store and
Yeah.
get groceries, or go to Coney Island.
yeah, like
Right.
little bodega, whatever.
Yeah, and people don't believe me. Like my in-laws, my uncle, aunt, like they're not. Like,
That's
no
what I'm
way,
saying.
what?
They
No
don't- they
way.
don't know that.
He's just boasting, right?
But if you tell somebody from New York that,
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh yeah, I used to do that too."
So what?
My
What's the
mom
big
used to
deal?
give me $5.
Yeah,
Used to
yeah.
get buy like a pack of.
So let me ask you a question.
Bubblegum?
You hear stories now, a kid, a boy being abducted, or being touched.
sucks.
We never really heard that stuff back then.
We didn't.
But the media was different too, right? I mean,
What was our
were
outlets,
different.
right? We only heard something when it happened to somebody close
That
to
was
us
it.
that
Yeah,
we knew.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Not that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It did. It was
Yeah.
just as dangerous. It was just as bad.
I honestly think there's more creeps in suburbs. Like to your point,
I agree.
I kind of do think that.
I feel
then,
scared walking in
no.
the suburbs
Yeah,
than in the city.
guys, I want to touch on something. So, like Omar was saying. So let's when we talk to non-Desis, KB, Omar, Ramir.
I'm always Ramir.
He's always Ramir. But in Desi culture, I mean, but us, Omar and
Omar.
Okay. Italian feast, the Puerto Rican parade.
Yeah.
The girls are beautiful. Like, that's one thing I think we had as an advantage, as a gift from God. We had some beautiful girls. Like, bro, Italian girls back then, Puerto Rican, Dominicans,
Yeah, I mean,
Pakistani, Indian. Want to touch on that a little bit? Can you touch on that a little bit?
I can touch.
Okay.
What do you want me
did
to
you touch that a little bit?
What do you want me to
is what
touch?
he's asking.
Oh, damn. This uncut version you want
I don't know if they're going to watch this thing, no, but make it PG, but go ahead.
Yeah, the girls are pretty, you
Yeah.
know. Of course, we would attend those Italian feast parades and stuff.
And we're talking about Italian. We're like, yeah, so what's your name, Tony? My name is Mikey. Reed, what's your name? Joey. Okay, we're going to go and be Italian.
But you guys be like, no, I can't be Italian, could I?
And then we go to Puerto Rico. I'm like, okay, what's your name? Rigo. Okay, I'm Berto. What's yours? Yeah. So whatever culture we went into, we thought in our head we can play
That's
that.
because we weren't known, right? We could kind of blend in with a lot
Kinda.
of different things.
Well, some of us.
Some of us better than others. Some of us better than others. But no, think about it though. It was crazy, right? When we grew up, like being Desi was not a cool thing.
There were, now it is.
Now it's
You
okay.
Pakistani?
Yeah.
Okay, but not back then.
They're like, oh,
Yeah.
if they said, oh, like, where are you from? Like, you're Arab? You're like, yeah, I'm Arab.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you know, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
That's better than Pakistani.
Pakistani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Where
better
is
than
that?
Pakistani.
Where is that?
So, yeah, I don't know. That was a different time.
But it was fun, man. You know, the feast. Like, us used to go a lot.
Yeah.
Where else we go to see girls, man?
Pakistan Independence Day Parade.
Okay,
You guys used to
yes.
drag me there. Yeah. Melas.
Can you share how we were? Like you, from your perspective, looking at us. Like, I mean, be honest. Like, you know, don't hold back.
No. So, like I said, younger audience won't understand this. Like AOL.
Oh.
So AOL was a big thing, right? We had chat rooms, and you guys will remember chat rooms. They had a chat room Pakistan, right? 101 or 123. Sometimes it'd be like multiple. Then they have India chat room. So like I actually used to go online and do homework back in those good old days. And I remember my brother came home one day with these two guys. And I'm guessing it to talk to a girl. That's where you met girls, right? It was like the Tinder before Tinder, right? That's what it was, right? You get ASL, if you know what ASL is, right? And he was so
What's ASL?
upset.
There's a lot
Age,
of
sex,
people.
location.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when you ask like.
Hold on, I missed a question. How would the ASL be today's time? A we got, L we got, sex. Like people it'll be multiple.
I don't know, multiple.
Neutral.
It'd be interesting.
Whatever you want it to be.
Neutral, fluid.
But you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. You could ask.
You couldn't ask that.
It could
Yeah.
AL.
That'd be offended.
AL.
Offense. That's
Age location.
that'd be an offensive statement. You
You're
know.
right.
So it's
Yeah,
interesting.
Yes. Times to change.
Times
Go ahead.
change,
Continue.
yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, he was so pissed because I was doing my homework on AOL because I was doing some research, and I'm sure he had to talk to a girl because that's how you dated, right? That's how you made phone calls. You didn't make phone calls. You were like, "Yo, come on AIM at 4 p.m. and I'll be there." And I'm there doing my homework. This guy got so pissed, and he picked up the chair with me in it and just threw it right out because we only had one computer. It's not like everybody has a phone now. That was the only outlet.
That was the only outlet.
And how long would you guys? 3 of you guys would sit by that
Guys,
computer.
If you were to
for
call
hours.
the Junjua family, right?
It was complicated. Packy Cutie 94, or did
Yeah.
we talk to Packy Cutie 78? Right. So there was a lot of research you had to do.
But then the crazy part is you didn't know who you were talking to.
Yeah, it could be a guy.
It could be a dude.
By the way, we were the guys, but none. One of our friends, his name is Adam. If he's in the watches, Adam, shout out to you, bro. We pretended to be a girl.
Dude, yeah.
And me and Rehan. Forget, so you're probably thinking we're talking about this guy, Rehan. That's his brother, a brother to us. He's not here. He should have been on the trip. I don't know. He's probably not gonna watch this.
Probably won't
He's not
watch
gonna
it.
watch it.
If he does, we love you. I promise. He's gonna be on the. I'm gonna do another series about this in part 2. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna grab him. Like, you get to help me grab him. And he has to be here.
Yeah, I do want to hear these stories.
Because his story from his mouth, if he opens up. So we keep talking about him to let you guys know there is an individual. He's alive and well. He's in New York right now, New Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah.
But yeah, you were AOL too.
I was AOL.
You
By
want
the way,
to put your screen name on
if you
the-
call the Dunjua family house between 4 and 8, you can't get a hold of his parents. Because at that time, if you used AOL, your phone line.
I think he was cutting school, so it was like a he had 2 birds, 1 stone thing. So it's like if the school was calling, they couldn't get through anyway.
You can't get through anyway. So
But I used to watch this. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like, you
used to
guys
watch
don't
it.
know. I used to watch the three, not grown men, they're teenagers, huddled around one screen.
With pictures.
And they're just like, yo, tell her this. and that was how they picked up girls.
Yeah.
And exactly, this is the new Tinder. Because you get nervous when you're
Yeah.
16, you got to talk to a girl. Like, how am
Yeah.
I going to approach her? That was the easiest way. And you send her a little private message, right?
Yeah.
And there was no profile, right?
Yeah.
Was there a profile?
Yes, there was. There was.
There was a
yeah.
profile. But what did it say on
Yeah,
the profile?
very basic. 21.
There was no
yeah.
picture. There was nothing.
So the interesting thing was like the pictures to load, right? So if you see a girl, like, okay, come on, the girl forehead looks really pretty. Okay, it's coming down.
It takes some time.
Her eyes are looking good. Let's get let's lunch and come back.
And then you feel the whole body. Yeah.
like oh damn.
Or you'd be like, this
So
is not-
wait,
or
let
you'd
me
be
ask you
like,
a
this is not gonna
question.
work.
When it came to that,
Yeah.
what was your like go-to pickup line? Like right now, you see a girl, you sweet talk or whatever.
A lot of your brother had some really good one. He taught me a lot. He mentored me in this project. He was a good mentor, and
A good one, or just a mentor?
he got into it deep. He was the least amount. I was in the middle, into it. He was the
He
least
got
amount.
deep. But what was
never
your
got into
go-to
it.
though? How would you even know? Because some screen
QD.
engineers-
You know, he's like,
Oh, with the Q.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ree had this line, and you probably remember. You know what's your problem? Let's finish it. You know what your problem is?
You're too cute. And the girls
And this is over Instant Messenger.
Oh,
And did it work?
and face to face.
And the girls like that,
They,
though.
they liked it.
It was kind of like a enforcement, like they kind of validating that, yeah, you really are cute. Believe in yourself. I'm telling you, you are cute.
Yes.
Yeah?
But
He's like-
it's just crazy that dynamic, like it's not there anymore, right?
No.
Like it's so different because
No.
now you got DMs and this, that, whatever. Like these guys didn't have access to DMs. So I went to high school, went to Murrow in Brooklyn. He went to FDR.
Yeah.
You went to FDR,
FDR,
and my
yeah.
brother went to Brooklyn Tech.
Number
right?
one high school in Brooklyn. His brother went to.
Yeah.
And the
Up
crazy
to.
part is, I was a freshman when these guys were seniors. They would show up at my high school,
Why? We did?
and
remember
I'd
that.
just be like, they wouldn't even say hi to me.
Uh-oh.
And I'd be like, yo, what? My high school, it was like a hangout. And it was just funny. Like, this is what you had to do to court women, right? You had to go to their high schools.
Were they for
They
girls?
showed- I don't think you were there to study. I don't know. Maybe you were. Maybe you did.
I was going there to pray.
Pray?
See, he's going
In
to
high
pray, yeah.
school?
But you went to a different high school, so you could have prayed in your
yeah.
own high school. So I don't
Okay.
know.
Man, oh man.
But that's
you
what I
got
mean.
me.
Like,
Oh man.
like you did some illegal shit.
You guys wanna jump into that? I mean, a little bit just from the outer part. Like, there were three girls, I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just seen you in my
You,
house.
yeah, you were.
So now
you
I
were
want to
caught.
know what this
You
story
wanna jump
is.
in a little bit. Like,
Yeah, we can talk about that. There were 2-3 girls that we were
Interested in. How
in.
old were we? 13, 14, 15, 16. We got a car. Eventually, we were driving. So 16.
Somebody was driving eventually.
You you were the one with the first car, right?
We. Benz.
Well, Ree had his Benz, yeah.
But that's my own car. Like, that was a family car.
That was our
Yeah.
family
Yeah.
car, but we just dictated
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it started, these set of girls that we were trying to get, talk to, started like in 14, 15.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it started earlier. Yeah.
And we,
Yeah.
and we would show up right when
They would
school
come.
was kind of ending.
And we thought every time we're going to go, we have a chance to.
Yeah. What did you think was gonna happen?
Well, we got close, but one of them was kind of open
Close
to
to
hanging
what
out.
though?
Just hanging
Just
out.
hanging
dude.
out.
It's
That's all you wanna do?
We're good boys, man. Like, we
just to say like, hey,
yeah, how's it going? Let's talk. Let's
I just
grab
met
a slice
you.
of pizza or something,
See,
And
back to a slice of pizza.
yeah, pizza was a big thing. It's always been a big thing. And was one always kind of open to do it, and the other one was like, no, like
No.
There's
These
always
guys-
one
these
of
guys
those
are
though.
retarded.
That's
Yes.
Don't do
see,
it.
some things never change. There's always that one friend that's like, it's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
it's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
She's
She's usually the ugly fat one, right?
Usually,
but this one wasn't ugly and fat. She, right? I mean,
so she was thin and jealous.
Didn't jealous. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You
look,
could say that.
they're friends of ours now. We all have come a long
Yeah,
way.
we came past that.
Yeah, so we
Because
came-
one time we wore those Polo Sports, right?
Talk about
Wait,
that.
did you ever talk to them
The
to
girls?
ask them what their impression was of what you
I
guys
think
used
we
to
did. I
do?
think we
Yeah,
did.
we'll tell you, right?
We did, right? We asked. Yeah, they just laughed it off. Like, oh, like silly.
Well, we were really into fashion, brand name and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
At that time, they had those Polo
Well,
Sports.
he asked me some question. He said to me else. He said, "Did you ever ask those girls?"
Yeah,
what do you
I'm
think?"
gonna get to
He's
that.
getting
I'm gonna
there,
get to that.
he's
I'm gonna
getting
get to that. So, we were in those Polo Sport.
Those are cycling
Those
jerseys.
cycling jerseys, And
Because I cycle now, and now it makes sense to me why it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys got them, but yeah.
Okay.
so we thought we were the shit.
No,
basically.
we thought we were the shit.
we were the
We
shit.
were
You
My
were
man.
shit.
bad
Okay.
boys.
So we would wear that. We would go to the school, stand by the
Dressed as
corner
Power Ranger.
and be like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Power
We're,
Rangers.
we're the coolest guys here. And that's exactly what happened, right? Because after that, they pretty much laughed at
did,
us,
they did.
and they said that they called us the Power Rangers. Power Rangers was the show that time.
Yes.
But we
Yeah,
all
because
had
you had a yellow jersey.
Yeah.
You had a red one, and my brother had
No,
a
I
blue.
had
I had
blue.
yellow.
Oh, you had blue.
I had yellow. He
Yeah,
had
yellow.
blue, and
And
Ree
yellow,
had
green.
red.
Oh, so okay.
We
So
had
Well,
red.
by the way, speaking of clothes, his sister had an engagement.
Yeah.
It was my idea to say, but that Miami Vice was a show growing up, right? So I said, guys, all good T-shirts and blazers.
Right. I
Well,
remember
I
that day.
wear blazers to this day. I
remember
wear the
that
same
day.
thing to this day, by the way.
T-shirt and
So,
blazer.
yeah. So and we all got T-shirts and blazers. I did your hair. I did Ree's hair.
And sunglasses too,
I
right?
was the hair guy. I did both of the hairs all
I
the
used
time.
to watch all of this, guys. By the
He
way.
in the back, little chubby cheeks and stuff. And then we wrote, and then back at that time, SNL, Saturday Night Live had this skit where these guys go to the club.
The Roxbury's.
Yes,
The
the
Roxbury.
Roxbury. And like,
Great movie. Great
right?
movie.
Hey, you come with me? Hey, come down. Remember that? And I didn't know that we're
Baby, don't love
me.
me.
And
No,
then
don't
we're
hurt
doing
me.
that. We're standing in his house, his sister's engagement at his house.
Yeah.
This party was amazing, by the way. A lot of things.
We were
going
also
on.
inspired by those models, though. Right?
Yes, which one?
Uh,
Mark Vanderloo,
Mark Vanderloo,
Jason Lewis,
Jason Lewis,
And-
and,
and
Alex
Alex
Lundquist,
Lundquist, yes.
right?
and
Yeah.
these were like the top male models at that time.
Yeah.
We're weird. People doing basketball stuff and football. And
We were doing fashion shows
We're
in
doing
the
fashion
fashion-
shows. Before, yeah,
were
we had
Instagram-
in our living room.
Yeah,
and
they
you
were
guys been posting.
Instagramming.
We did this way before. So we watch these models in the magazines. We do our hair, try to be like them.
MTV, you had an
And
MTV
at
channel.
MTV. I said
Yep.
record it and come to his house.
Yeah.
And we come over, put it in, and say, look
Yeah.
at that. Oh, that's dope. That's that. Let's go buy that. So let's go back to the sister's engagement.
Yeah.
Were you there? Did you come?
I was.
Okay. Like, is Ramir's like in these stories?
I know.
He's always there in the
I'm
corner.
always there. Yeah.
And we wrote.
I lived across the street.
We wore that stuff. We're in the staircase,
Yeah.
and we're trying to make conversation. You want to continue what happened?
Yeah, we wanted to be the coolest guys there because those girls were there at the Mindy, and we wanted to look, super cool
that was
for
the
them.
It was a Mindy. Mindy is like a celebration before the marriage and stuff. That sister never married that guy, by the way, but
Yeah, she did.
yeah, but it was a big party. Khan family, his family's Khan, very popular family in Brooklyn, New York. Till this day, they're a legendary.
All the
family.
milads would be at our house. All
Yes,
the aunties would
milads
come
are
over.
prayers, right?
My mom would coordinate all the milads.
She was like a don.
She was like a don.
Yeah, she had one of the 5 families.
Yeah,
She
she
would
was
keep.
like, Abida, please बैठ जाए यहाँ पे. अच्छा आप सलाम पढ़ते हैं. सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि कयाम.
So anyway,
All that milad would be
so this
parties at my house.
this party we look forward to.
Yeah.
We were in our mind we're playing it out, visualizing back then, law of attraction. And I don't know what we thought was gonna happen out of it, and we wore these blazers, t-shirts. But did we get anywhere?
We didn't get anywhere.
Anywhere.
We just got made fun of
Yes.
again.
Yes, again. We danced, and the girls were
We did dance, yeah.
clapping for us and
Yeah,
stuff. And we're like,
but these guys are a
"Oh."
bunch of clowns.
Yeah, that was our childhood. Oh man, wow. We went back how many years? Let's talk about that. It's 20.
By the way, we
23.
would go into those Madison Avenue stores
Yes.
with
Oh, yeah,
those
you would cut
suits on
school
as
to do
well,
this.
Yes.
right?
100.
And we
At
would go to all
16
those
years old?
Armani,
So break it.
D&G.
Let's unpack that. So we used to cut school, right? We used to
Yeah.
get our parents' suit. Like I didn't. My father wasn't there, but his father. We should borrow your dad's jacket. He used to
Yeah.
get his dad's jacket,
Yeah.
and we mix it. Like, oh,
Su-
you
suit
can take
jackets,
mine.
yeah.
They share this stuff with me, and then we used to pair ties.
I know.
And then okay, what's up? You did or no? He's like, I know. What are you talking to me for? And where did we go? Madison Avenue,
Madison Avenue.
Park Avenue,
Park Avenue. That's
Yeah.
where you have all the high-end stores.
high-end
right?
stores like Gucci,
Armani,
D&G,
Prada, all that, yeah.
and we had like $10 in our pocket.
Yeah.
Right, and we used to pass by those expensive restaurants. That
Oh,
way
yeah.
we go there now to eat. Mr. Chai
Yeah.
goes there all the time.
But that time we were getting 99
But
cents
99
pizza, right?
Me and V were for you.
Oh, yeah, you guys were covering me for that
Yeah,
too.
we love this.
Pay it
kid.
back. Pay it back.
And we used to walk in these stores, and the guys would come like, I mean, I don't get canceled, but say he used to come to us in his manner, say, "What are you guys doing here?" Like, oh, we want that piece. That's the word they used back then. That piece. You have the Armani piece there. Like no one knew what Armani piece were, and we used to try and stuff. And like, oh, that's good on you. You want to buy that, sir? I'm like, no, I'll come back later with my girlfriend. I had no girlfriend. Like,
You barely had friends.
so one time the store called Century 21.
Yeah.
and I caught me and Ree with the mastermind of stuff, and Omar followed. And this strategy we came up with, like, yo, what if we took a cheaper price tag, able to take it out, switch it, and buy stuff? And we did it a few times. So again, change the price tag, go pay for it, and get out, and you could save about 60, 70, 80%. And we did. We got away with it.
You call that savings?
60, 70%?
And then what
Was
happened?
it savings?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes.
He said savings like it was on sale.
Yeah.
Sale for us.
So one time,
Yeah.
I found a D&G sweater, and I got greedy, and I went deep. I went like $10 on it, and I went to pay for it. You remember the story?
I remember.
And the girl's like, "This ain't right. Stay right there, sir."
Something fishy.
And I like consider myself, a good talker and charming, a little charismatic. I was always able to get myself out of situations with my verbal gift from God. But it didn't work that day. And he goes, "Stay right there." And I looked at them, and we talked without talking. I told them, "Guys, get out of here." I'm like, "Guys," and like, okay. So they walked out because I don't want to get them in trouble. And the guy, come with me, sir. And he had a jacket on, he had a walkie-talkie, he took me upstairs, he goes, "We had you on camera." And I don't think they had me on camera. It was like an FBI, scene that he's right in front of me. "We got you on camera. You want to admit this?" And I was so scared, like single mom, people are working right now, coming home. And he goes, "Call your mom. I'm gonna have her come here." And then he goes, I'm calling her, she's not picking up. And he goes, "What's your social security number? We're gonna register you." I'm like, "I don't remember it." I didn't remember my number back then. And he goes, "Okay." And after an hour,
No, and then he checked your wallet.
my wallet,
Remember?
yeah,
And you had like cash and stuff.
I had
right?
cash, yeah,
And he was kind of like, "Why would you do this?"
Yes.
Yeah.
The prices are too expensive, man.
And he let me go. They fined me. About $400, and I had to pay that monthly.
Wow.
Back to them. And,
That's 400.
yeah, so I walked out.
I didn't hear this part.
Yeah, I thought I'd go to jail. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is my jail record." Oh my God, this is gonna be bad. So you remember that day, right? That one
Yeah,
night.
that was bad.
After that night, we never did that.
Like, we're not
again.
going to do this again.
Yeah.
Well, you
Let's,
guys you
let's
took
talk about
orders.
concerts.
Concerts were interesting, man.
What type of concerts we went to?
All these big musicians that got even much bigger.
From Pakistan.
Right? Junoon concerts. These are Pakistani bands, by
Right.
the way, right? So Junoon concerts, Vital Signs, Ali Heather. Yeah, there was always something. There was always something going on, like every 3-4 months, right? And that was also the place where you would find a lot of people our age, a lot of girls showing up, and we want to look good in front of them as well.
Right.
And then you see the other guys also, right in the front with their cars, blasting music, and they were like dancing, "What's up, yo? What's up, yo? I got all the hot music in my car, what's up?" They're trying
You
to
were
attract
those
girls
guys
as well.
too. You just had your
They-
own
but
style.
they-
We weren't that cheap though.
Yeah, there was 20, 30 guys. They had a name. These gangsters had the boys' crew had a great
Halal
name.
boys.
Halal boys.
They were halal boys.
What
Manslaughter.
halal mean for my non-Muslim watchers?
Well, something that's permissible.
In Islam.
Right? Yeah.
So, but this.
So permissible boys.
Yeah,
But they weren't doing things that were
They
permissible.
were not permissible.
Yeah.
And the girls like these boys, and we're like, "Why do you like these boys? We're the pretty boys. They should like us, right? We have our
Yeah.
hair done like Jason Lewis."
Some girls like bad boys.
Yeah. So the concerts happen, right?
Yeah. And there'll be fights too, though.
There were fights
They'll
happening.
pick fights with people and stuff.
So like we see, he had a girl he liked, and we're waiting for her to come to the concert, and then she came in, and she looking at the halal boy, and I remember Ree was like devastated. He was
Yeah.
like, "What?"
He was like, "That's who I'm losing.
That's
That's who I'm losing this girl to."
and by the way, these heartbreaks like we went to, he went to major heartbreak.
Yeah.
With this girl, one girl, and right laughing. And it was a scene out of a movie. Like, Ree called us, "Yo, she dumped me," and I was at his house across the street, and we ran. When the movie came out, Dil Chahta Hai, it was
Yeah.
very similar scene. Like we
Yeah.
opened the door, and Ree's there on top of this big. You remember in Six Flags when you hit the ball,
Oh, the Tweety.
the Tweety.
Yeah, I remember
The
that Tweety.
Tweety's about this big, and our boy Ree's on top of it.
I remember you
bed.
guys saying this story. Yeah.
And he's, by the way, Reed's an NFL player. Like, if he was serious, he could have been an NFL / baseball player. Like his body built, it was very thick and nice arms and jawline. is sitting there with tears coming down. I don't know if we were supposed to laugh or not, or be sad for him. And we're like, what the hell's going on?
Mixed emotions.
Mixed emotions, and we were there for him. You know, we don't have much time to wrap it up soon, guys, but like, that's one thing that I don't know. I don't know if I ever saw other friends have what we had. Maybe they did.
I think everybody has it.
Everyone has it.
It's just as special to your own, right? Like, you know when everyone's like, "Oh, I'm in love. There's no love like my love."
Yeah.
No, mother effer. Everybody's in love the same way. Like your
Sure.
relationship is not special, but it's
Yeah.
special to you, and that's what makes it. Like for us talking about Brooklyn, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Right. But for us, it was special.
It brings back memories.
But
It was
it is
special.
it is a blessing, right? That we're still kind of together. You
Sure.
know, a lot of
Yeah.
friends do. You know, they lost touch, I'm sure, or whatnot. Maybe people change. Maybe they really don't want to, still mix with the same people that they were kind of growing up with when they were younger. So I think we are fortunate from that aspect.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
thank God we got you back from your stroke.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot one thing. I look at my notes right now. The party scene in
Party
South
scene.
Beach.
Yeah.
That I was big part of, and I used to make you come be part of. I want to share about that.
Yeah,
Like,
you were the guy, man.
Yeah.
Growing up, I mean, I would come visit you, right?
Yes,
Every
Miami,
couple of
so,
years, go to
yeah.
Miami.
No,
How old were we? Like,
every twice a year.
Twice a year,
Yeah.
right? Were we like 16, 17
No,
years?
no.
No, you were older by
We're
then.
older.
You were
Maybe
older by then.
18,
20,
19.
no, 20.
It was early 20s,
19, 20,
over
21,
18.
19,
20.
20.
We came one time. We went partying.
Yeah, you guys did
20.
New Year's. I
Yeah,
remember one time.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, South Beach at that time was kind of the big hot spot.
It was Studio 54 of this time.
Yeah, I mean, now it's kind of a little bit
Now it's
trashy and stuff. It's
Miami's still
nothing-
hot, but that
Yeah.
part is done.
Yeah,
It's
I think
done.
Miami has those other like Brickell,
Other
and
parts of it, and live and yeah.
Poppy Steakhouse.
Yes,
all that
yeah.
Other stuff now. But you were the guy, man. You
Yeah.
knew like all the bouncers. You kind of knew
Promoters.
all the promoters, all the
Owners.
club owners.
Bobby Brandt.
Bobby Brandt, right? We never would have to really pay to get into any of these
Talked
places.
about that. Pretty sure you saying that. We talked about the scene when you walked in, the people, the Ferraris.
Yeah.
Before Ferraris now they're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But back then it was like from Brooklyn coming in, you see like 10 Ferraris back to back.
Yeah.
This is before Dubai was Dubai, right? Now
Yeah.
everyone goes to Dubai.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah, I mean, people are extremely good looking too, right? I mean, you would see these guys that are like chiseled, tan skin. You see the women that are absolutely beautiful.
They're natural. They're more natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
plastic
it was-
wasn't a thing at that point, right?
It was
was
very
the-
expensive too back
Yeah,
then.
it was.
Yeah.
You had to be the top of the top to get it.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
No, you finance it.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a place to be, right? I mean, that was definitely the hot spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw Puffy, party with
We saw
Puffy,
Puffy.
T-Bone Bob Moss.
Yeah.
One time J Lo was in the corner.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Football players. Scottie Pippen we saw.
Scottie Pippen.
Sitting by himself. I think Larsa was him and having a fight back then. And shout out to Ehab, a good friend of ours who had a place
Yeah.
called Off the Hookah. He was a
Yeah.
big reason why we partied.
His place was the bomb,
His-
man.
his place was-
right on the water.
Right in the water.
Right?
Off the
He had like
Hookah.
a purple Lamborghini or
He had
something.
all of them. He had a
right?
Bentley. He had two Lambos, the flip door one. Then he had the regular one. My wedding. He drove me to my part of my wedding in the Lamborghini.
Yeah, that was part of like you're exiting off, right?
yeah,
Your
yeah.
City
So,
that time.
Yeah, Alfie Justice was a big part of our life. God bless
Sadly,
his soul.
he's no longer
with us.
right.
But
He was a Navy SEAL.
A Navy SEAL.
Yeah. And
we went to Amsterdam with him.
yeah, we went to Amsterdam. That was a crazy trip as
Yes.
well.
We went to London.
We stayed with this guy, Yo.
Yo.
And
Shout
he
out
was
to
an
Yo.
artist.
Yes.
And it was very interesting, right? Because where he lived, it wasn't really his.
No, he
that
was a squatter. He's squatting there.
he was a squatter.
Yes, it was a big warehouse.
We're like, yo, how'd you get this place? He was like, well, we go to these places, and I just came here.
Yeah.
I said, you pay rent here?
No.
We don't pay rent. I just live here.
Yeah.
I said, where do you shower? Oh, I go to the shower
The gym.
down the street.
Somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we all went to go
We
shower.
we followed him.
We followed
with our
him,
bags.
Went over there.
Yes, yeah.
But Amsterdam is, pretty wild,
The
crazy
first
place.
time we went, he went after me, and he went a bunch of times. But I only been once. We went to the store to get food, groceries, and they had people with hijabs.
You did last week, right? You were biking?
Yeah, he was there last week.
Yeah.
People had hijabs on, and they're serving, giving us groceries, we're paying
Yeah.
on groceries. And you come across the street here, and you have prostitutes.
Yeah, red light district. And then you have niqabis.
The cop is right here.
Yeah.
And you go down there, you have chicks with dicks, right? Guys with, I mean, that was the most insane thing we saw.
And then you got those shops, right? Like those coffee shops and
With hashish and
they put marijuana in pretty much everything.
Yeah, drugs were
What year
very.
did you guys go?
Huh?
What year was
That was
this?
New Year's we went, right?
Yeah, New Year's. My mother was alive. This is before my mom passed away. So 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. A lot changed.
Yeah, it's been
But a lot
20
didn't change either.
A lot, yeah.
20
Yeah, V's supposed to come. We told V's like, no, you guys go. You know, V has his own love stories happening at that time. But yeah, it was a memorable trip. You know, we should do one of those now with us four.
we should. We should.
Yeah, I'll
National.
show you guys now.
Oh yeah, he will show us. He probably will show us now.
You'll probably take us on a bike ride.
I would do that too, yeah.
This guy
That's
does-
how you see the country.
Yes.
This guy just said, what'd you do, 70 miles?
50, 50, just 50, man.
Just 50
Tell,
miles.
talk about that. What was that for?
So that was a company fundraiser for cancer. So we do it every year. We do it in different countries. This year was Brussels, but we went to Amsterdam because, you know, Amsterdam, 2-hour bus ride to Brussels. But, yeah, that's it. I don't know.
Cancer.
For cancer,
So let's
yeah.
talk about cancer. So who lost who to cancer?
I lost my mom,
Most recent.
most recent,
Shout
July
out to
4th
Linda
this
Auntie.
year.
Linda Auntie was a second mom
Yeah,
to
God
all
bless
of
her
us.
soul. Yeah.
She was the goat of goats. I'm so happy my wife got to meet her. But my wife loved her, and she was very close to my wife and his wife also. But you know, we lost her recently. Then did we lose Salman's mom? My
Salman's
mom.
mom, yeah.
My mom.
I don't know what the...
His mom died before my mom, I think.
No.
No, I think your mom passed first.
Your mom
Before,
passed
okay.
first,
Then it was
yeah.
his mom.
Salman, and then we lost my mom. And we lost your cousin.
Yeah, Jimmy Pine.
And then the other one, yeah, Goodbye
Rizwan,
son.
yeah, and then Asan.
That
Yeah.
was a hard one. He was
Yeah.
how old?
He was only like in his early 20s.
So Ramir does this, and by the way,
Mid-20s.
he always does this for the people that we lost. And I talked to him about it a few times.
Yeah, it's in, like this. That was probably the first time I like cried like from my mom,
Right.
like midway there, just cycling by the river, and like, you know, I was thinking, I was like, damn, you kind of realize what a person's gonna miss out on. And my mom traveled the world. She lived in Italy. You know, traveled as an au pair.
Good life.
Yeah,
Good
she's
life.
seen a lot, but it comes to you. You realize like, yo, this is a limited time opportunity here.
Yeah.
Those second chances.
There's no, yeah, and I think that's the problem with today. People think they have a second chance.
100%.
I'll be an asshole today. I'll fix it up tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes, right?
Yes.
Because
You don't
tomorrow
know.
comes, and it's tomorrow's the next day.
100%.
And so I was there cycling, thinking like, man, I gotta enjoy this. And like my buddy, he did the long ride. He did 81 miles. And afterwards, we shared a moment, and he told me like, I thought about your mom like the whole way, and that's a 5.5 hour
What buddy
ride.
was this?
Carlos
Carlos.
Ledesma.
The one go?
Juan didn't go, yeah. And so like it's
Stuff.
for me it's a good thing, you know, like you kind of just let a lot of energy out and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of emotion out, and like you're crying and you're cycling, like it's
Yeah.
a weird thing, right? It's so like you can't get these experiences unless you go chase them too. Like I said, like and that's the beauty of traveling, right? If you're going for an Instagram picture, you can't, like, it doesn't do
No.
the same justice. You're not going to
100%.
get that emotional like fulfillment, and that's what I think that trip was for me. Like I knew where I was there, and it was crazy. The year before that, that's when she got diagnosed.
Yeah.
So she didn't make it to the next event. It
Yeah.
was that quick, right? So
That's
Yeah.
insane, man. Another topic just before wrapping up, you know, we're very blessed to have the families we have.
yeah,
You know, I'm married, happily married, for 13, 14 years now. Beautiful wife, Saima. Shout out to Saima. 2 beautiful kids, Omar, Naveen, beautiful girl from Dubai, who we all believe that she's changed Omar's life forever. 3 beautiful kids.
It's true.
Right now, our 5 kids are in his house making a mess out of it. But, you know, we got very lucky, right?
Absolutely.
You know,
and
this
sometimes
guy-
you don't get too lucky.
Not sometimes
You don't get too lucky like that. But that's the thing, man. That's the reality of it, right?
Yes.
Like we didn't grow up in the best place.
No.
We made it the best place.
Yeah.
I don't have the best situation. You know, divorced. You know, we had a hard time conceiving and all that stuff, and that never happened for us. But you got to make the best out of it.
You have to make the best
right?
of it.
And that's what life is about. And if you don't make the best out of it, then you'll be stuck forever.
I think from my marriage, my friends have played a big part in it. Like I met Saima and I went to Pakistan for a month, and before I left, I go, hey, Saima, talk to my friend Omar. Like he's a good guy, and you guys talked so much. Like, by the time I got back, he's like, yeah, let's talk more. He sold me really well. You know, a lot of times we have
Your
some
friends do
fights.
that, yeah.
We have some fights, and my wife will call it Ramir now, and you know, and vent to him. to have the right friends is super, super important.
Well, you guys got
It's
to talk
great.
to him.
I talked to a girl after, and you had hung out with me that night, and she was like, "Oh, your boy was just like talking you up, like you ran the world." And I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah, that's what good friends do for you, you know."
The girl that we all hung out with the girl?
We hung out with a girl,
Okay.
and then
Got
you
it,
talked
yeah.
me up at some point, and then it helps.
But you know, it helps a lot. So guys, as the host of this podcast, like, this is special.
Yeah,
This is really special for me. I wish Ree was here. Yeah.
He'll be here in the next one.
You know, I don't know. I think a few times I said it before, but you know, I really appreciate what you have done, and you've been there. I'm not easy to be friends with. They'll tell you, well,
Tell you
Very
next
hard, very hard, very hard.
you know, I've been called arrogant, which I maybe I am. You know, crybaby, you know, pussy boy, whatever. But
We can get that to next time. We can leave that for next
but
time.
you know, you stuck with me. Both
We're
of you.
brothers,
Yeah, we're
you
brothers.
know.
We're not friends. We're brothers, man. And like,
It's more than friendship.
yes, yeah, and I appreciate you guys, you know, being with me this long.
We appreciate you.
You know, and thank you for doing this show, guys.
Next.
Where
Thanks
can
for
I
having
find?
us.
Where can I find you?
You can find me on IG,
Okay.
Omar Graham.
Okay.
If you want to follow me, I put up a lot of
Comedy.
religious videos,
Current events.
current events,
Yeah.
world events, right?
Yeah.
You can find this guy.
You can't.
Where do you
That's
find
the
you?
Thing. You
You
can't
know,
find.
you can find this guy.
No, I'm not on media
Amsterdam.
like that.
Oh, come on, stop flexing.
I'm
If
not-
you
I'm
wanna
not
see
on
some
social media like that.
Yeah, but if you want to ever follow his
Ramir Janjua, yeah.
yeah,
But
he
Probably
loves
catch him in the
cars.
airport. Maybe.
yeah, see me at the airport. Come to Miami
He'll be
Airport.
fixing your plane.
I'll be there. Miami
And for me,
Airport.
catch me at KB Rockstar Realtor. Love you guys. Thank you, Omar.
All right.
Omar.
Thank you.
Omar. Okay.
All right.
OKC.
RJ. Amir. Thank you
All
guys.
right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for hearing our story.
Thank you.